How many of you interact with people? Okay, great. So today should be relevant to everyone here. And I'd like to start by sharing a story from this book. Hopefully I won't wave my hands too wildly, and our friends online will be able to hear this story as well. So this is a story from a colleague of mine named Michael Perez. In this story, he was visiting Glasgow, Scotland. And Glasgow, like many cities of comparable size, have its more and less desirable parts of town. So one wrong turn and you can quickly find yourself having a very different experience. And Michael was about to find this out this night. He decided that rather than take a taxi back to his bed and breakfast, he would simply walk the several blocks. And soon he discovered that he had walked several blocks too far. And he found himself in this area of the street that was less well lit. And soon he was walking through a construction site that actually blocked him off from the rest of the street. And out of the shadows of this construction site stepped 6 young men. And if you've seen the movie A Clockwork Orange, they had a similar delinquent expression on their faces as the leader stepped forward and said, "I'll have your wallet." Now, there are a number of different ways that Michael could have responded to this situation. He's a pretty big, strong guy, so he could have grabbed the young man by his arm and twirled him around, attempting to knock over all of his friends. Or he could have used a subtler approach, some martial arts tomfoolery, to disabuse them of this particular notion of how to have a good time. And yet it was something in the mock-friendly tone of this young man that caught Michael's attention when he said, "I'll have your wallet." "You have my wallet?" Michael said. It was just a small misinterpretation of the young man's words, and it came out of Michael's mouth without thinking. "That's wonderful. Where did you find my wallet? Did you recognize my face from my ID card? Did you see me drop it when I passed by last? I'm so incredibly relieved. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I didn't have any cash in my wallet, but all my credit cards were there, and I didn't know how I was going to pay for my plane flight home, much less my hotel." And as he barraged the young man with this information, he began shaking his hand in thanks. And this served two purposes. First, to startle the young man out of his previous pattern of intent. And second, it would serve Michael well if this wasn't taken in the way that Michael hoped. I don't have your wallet," the young man stuttered. And "you don't have my wallet," Michael said. "Well, why did you tell me you had my wallet?" And immediately he went into a whole tirade about being completely screwed, not knowing what to do. And he really let that forlorn emotion register, not only on his face, but also in his voice. "Well, did you lose it around here?" the young man asked, mirroring Michael's concern. Michael nodded, and for the next 15 minutes, these 6 young men got down on their hands and knees and began helping him, searching the crannies and shadows of this construction site. And finally, no one found the wallet, so Michael invited them up off their knees and shook each of their hands in turn, thanking them for being such kind individuals and helping him look, and sending them on their way, still looking a little bit more than a bit confused. So who knows what will happen with these 6 young men, but Michael hopes that the next time they think of having some fun by robbing someone of their pocket money, they might think twice, having experienced how good it can feel to help a fellow human being. Or perhaps not, who knows. But Michael hopes there was some benefit for that in that interaction, not only for himself in keeping his wallet, but also for these 6 young men.